Greetings, my fellow normies. This is Scott, your host, just a normie. And today, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and share. And today, we're going to be talking about the doom and gloom of the end of DC Comics being shut down for good. It seems that the situation surrounding comic books, the Rona, has really shifted the dynamics of the comic book industry. So I don't know a lot about the comic book industry and stuff. I don't have ever claimed to know and stuff. I only know what I've read, and it seems as if, in a lot of ways, comic books are dead. But the problem is too is that if you look at what's going on with regards to comic books in general, I think it's a cultural shift, and I say, and the way that I say that is that Um, you got a lot more people that are online. A lot of people don't like physical media. They don't like physical books anymore and stuff. And that's kind of sad, because I love, um, I absolutely love and adore books. I love books and stuff and all that. I have books and stuff. And I like the graphic novels more than I actually like the comic books and stuff. But that's just a preference to me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing and stuff. My father was a big comic book guy, but he wasn't like into DC, Marvel, and stuff like that. He was more like in Archie and other characters and stuff like that. But and he tried to introduce me to it, but I liked books far more and all that, like you know, and all that. But everything. It's really sad to see that DC Comics is coming to an end, and quicker than first thought, really. Even with the distributor Diamond having to take out a loan on top of their own loan in order to justify staying open during the Rona situation and stuff like that. But it's like, what are you going to distribute to? And stuff. I would say, a lot of frickin' comic book stores are permanently gone. They're not coming back either and stuff. But Daniel Richmond on his Patreon page that AT&T doesn't care about the comics of DC. So they're going to let DC Comics die and may sell them. They only care about HBO Max and the movies. Some of you may be curious as to why AT&T would or would not care, so we'll fill you in. Back in 2018, global giant AT&T completed a purchase that actually began in 2016 of Time Warner, the parent company which owned Warner Brothers and DC Comics for a cool $85.4 billion. Holy shit. Since that purchase, the question has always surrounded DC and what AT&T had planned for the struggling entity. It now seems that AT&T plans on letting DC Comics die on the vine. That is just sad. Really, really, really sad to see. Initial word of DC Comics' demise came last year when 27-year comic book veteran Ethan Van Sciver, known for his work with Geoff Johns on DC's Green Lantern, reported on his very own Comic Artist Pro secret YouTube channel that an insider gave him the bad news that AT&T plans to shut down DC Comics by June of this year. Comic books themselves have fallen into the hands of extremely irresponsible people in editorial and publishing who have taken comics and turned them from a good, fun pastime, escapist fantasies into identity political evil poisonous pamphlets that insult their own leaders. That's just overall Hollywood, period. And all that. I think that really says a lot, to be honest. And that statement right there says it all. Van Sciver told subscribers via Comic Book News AT&T fired a big portion of their editorial staff in April. And just this week, they fired the rest of them. Essentially, we We understand from sources at this point that there is no editors at DC Comics anymore. There are the people who just get to get coffee, interns who aren't making very much, people who are going to be running the company until it ends. So just basically a skeleton crew of people that don't know what they're doing and stuff. I've been in that situation with an employer. It's sad, really. It really is, because you watch something great fall apart around you, and it's so disheartening and stuff, and all that, Van Shiver also wanted to point out that even though his tip can't be verified, he's believes to be true. I received a tip, by the way, an unverified tip. I gotta say, I don't know if it's true or not, but they are saying DC Comics will close down publishing paper comics in June of 2021. I think they just solicited March's comics and guessed that. If that is true, that's going to be it. Van Sciver didn't hide his bitterness as he continued on leaning on the political divisiveness. So this company was ruined. It was ruined by far left wing radical artists who would I say invaded, explained Van Sciver. These parasitic monsters use DC Comics as their host, their platform to change culture and attempt to change politics. All this comes on the heels of two major DC happenings. The first being the announcement by DC publisher Chief Creative Officer Jim Lee telling DC Comics that their planned 5G event, one that was going to reset the DC timeline, aging out classic characters such as Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, and introducing new characters, had been canceled. The second big announcement came when longtime DC comic co-publisher Dan DiDio was fired. While DiDio's removal came as a shock, his release will leave behind a DC career mired in controversy that included his noted poor treatment of classic characters. The firing represented a major shift in how DC was looking at its future, one now that seems murky at best. Before DC fans get all hot and bothered, DC Comics possibly closing down doesn't mean the end of Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Superman, or any of the other popular superheroes. It doesn't mean the characters are going to go away. Batman, of course, is prized possession of AT&T. And I'm sorry, but Superman is far more a prized possession than Batman is. Granted, both of them are the biggest key prized possessions, and yet they have no idea what to do with Superman. And that comes from a normie. I know that. AT&T is Batman, and they're going to keep putting out movies and product and toys, all that stuff. But, DC, you have to treat the characters with respect, including the source material. You can't just kind of throw it away. So, I'm not a comic book guy. As many of you know and already know, I am doing some writings and discussions about some villains, and I've always thought that the DC universe is very rich in a lot of very good superheroes and villains. I think that they have some of the best villains in all of comic book history and stuff. And that comes from somebody who doesn't know. That's just my own opinion, And I say that because the fact that they really do. And, it's disheartening to see them destroy what everybody loves. But you know what this gives us opportunity to do? It's time for you to create your own materials. It's time for you to get out there, write your own stuff, create new genres, create new franchises and stuff. I have a video on that too as well, because like I said, I write a lot, and I'm writing right now for an MMO that I can't discuss because I'm under a non-disclosure, and I'm also writing a sci-fi novel too, a political thriller and stuff. So let me know what you think down below about this news. It's very disheartening, I know that, but Let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll be talking to you later. Take care, everybody. Bye.